You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Sherry Nelson from the K-State Extension Office steps into the studio to talk about a Kansas Youth Leadership Forum for another Wildcat Wednesday segment.
All right. Also, a shooting at a Halloween party in Kansas City leaves one person dead and at least 6 others injured.
And we are watching the potential for some increasing winds and increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. But we've also got a pretty nice day between here and there. We'll talk about all of that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Authorities have charged a former executive director of the Carthage Convention and Visitors Bureau with stealing from the organization. The Jasper County prosecutor filed charges against Callie Myers following a year-long investigation by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Myers worked at the CVB from November of 2020 through July of 2021. Court documents show investigators found Myers made almost $5,000 worth of unauthorized purchases using the CVB debit card. Authorities say Myers used the card to buy clothing, food, hair salon services, and as payment to her husband and daughter. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services is investigating whether a Joplin hospital violated federal health care rules when denying a woman an emergency abortion. Melissa Farmer first told KOAM about her water breaking when 18 weeks pregnant and going to Freeman Health System. Tests showed she had lost all her amniotic fluid and the fetus was not expected to survive. There was still a heartbeat and her condition was not considered life-threatening though. Farmer said doctors told her they could not terminate the pregnancy because of Missouri's heartbeat law. She eventually went to Illinois to get an abortion. The Missouri Health Department investigation centers on a federal law requiring a determination whether a person seeking treatment is in labor or whether they face an emergency health situation or one that could develop into an emergency and to provide treatment. A former youth director at an Army base in central Missouri is sentenced for child sexual abuse. Authorities say 43-year-old David McKay of Waynesville, Missouri, sexually abused 4 children while serving as the youth ministry director at Fort Leonard Wood. McKay pleaded guilty to 1 count of transporting a minor to engage in criminal sexual activity and 4 counts of sexually abusing a minor. He is sentenced to 30 years in federal prison without parole. A shooting at a Halloween party in Kansas City on Monday night left at least 1 person dead and up to 6 others injured. According to police, between 70 and 100 high school-age students were gathered at the home where it happened. A group of uninvited guests were asked to leave and someone in the group started shooting. Injured victims include at least 2 who were listed in critical condition.
Yeah, it's disturbing. Like I said, it's unacceptable. The number of people that are out here with guns, and regardless of what the situation is, we need to figure out how to manage our anger. And shooting people, taking the lives of people is not the answer. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. We have to figure out how to resolve conflict in a peaceful way.
A person of interest was taken into custody Tuesday afternoon. The project to replace Joplin's South Rangeline Bridge is making progress. Crews have begun pouring concrete on the bridge deck. This is part of the project to build a new bridge that will be higher, wider, and shorter than the previous one. The new bridge will feature sidewalks on both sides of the road that the previous bridge did not have. At last report, the projected completion date was early December. Well, for some Olympians, it's definitely about the fun of competition, but it's also much more than that. Special Olympics Kansas will host the Southeast Kansas Regional Youth Bowling Competition. The event features schools in multiple Southeast Kansas counties, and for the Special Olympians, events like the Youth Bowling Competition provide a healthy dose of good sportsmanship, a break from their regular school day, and interacting with other members of the community, such as local law enforcement.
That is something that is a Special Olympics tradition, is the local law enforcement. They come out and get to interact with the athletes and kind of celebrate their victories and their accomplishments. So that's kind of a fun relationship and community builder.
Southeast Kansas Regional Youth Bowling Competition takes place at Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh today and tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Missouri's Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft spoke in Carthage yesterday. KOAM's Carrie Worthen was there and spoke with Ashcroft about next week's election.
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft is in Carthage, Missouri, where he will cover topics including proposed constitutional amendments and election integrity.
I'm going to talk a little bit about House Bill 1878, which brought about some changes to our election laws. I think then I'm probably going to go through quickly each of the constitutional issues or the constitutional question, trying to let them know what they'll be voting on so they can decide how they want to vote on it. Don't really want to tell people how to vote. And then hopefully just answer whatever questions they might have, make myself available.
The new voter law requires voters to use a government-issued photo ID to vote. People who don't have a photo ID on Election Day will have to vote with a provisional ballot, which takes extra few steps before it can be counted.
One of the things that I'm always worried about is I don't want to create voter confusion. I don't want to create confusion at the polls. So the law was written so that even if you don't know about the changes, as long as you're registered and go to your polling place on Election Day, you can vote and your vote will count.
If you are not sure where to go vote, Ashcroft says there are multiple ways that you could find out.
If there are concerns when they go to vote, I would ask them not only to say something when they're there, be nice to your poll workers. They're your citizens just like you and me. But I would also ask them to reach out to our office. So if there is a problem, we can help rectify it.
Ashcroft also says he hopes events like this help build trust in the system.
I wanted us to do better. I want a government that is focused on opportunity for everyone, allowing people to make their own decisions and running elections and making sure that they have accessibility, security, and credibility is foundational to our form of government, and making sure that we, the people, are in charge and we have the opportunity to be the best that they can be.
In Carthage, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Of course, the election is next Tuesday.
All right, time for a little weather history for you. And that's not the right button. There we go. On this day back in 1946, some heavy wet snow fell in the southern Rockies. In fact, Denver recorded 31 inches in 3 days, one of its greatest snowstorms on record. Okay, we don't have any snow in our immediate forecast. Now, that's a disappointment for some because we are in November. It certainly isn't going to feel like November, at least not for the next couple of weeks. Wind gusts today could push 25 to 30 miles an hour, mainly in that 25 mile an hour range. As we head into tomorrow, though, wind gusts start to pick up to that 30, possibly even 35 mile an hour range. And then Friday morning, this is 1:30 Friday morning, wind gusts could be all the way upwards of 40 miles an hour. And then this line out here is our cold front, and right ahead of it, we see wind gusts pushing 40 to maybe even 50 miles an hour across the area. And then, of course, with this, that's all associated with a cold front that's bringing us shower and thunderstorm chances this weekend. The rain tracker continues to update, but we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain with this system as we head into the weekend. Right now in Joplin, 54 degrees. We've got clear skies, mild temperatures to start the day, nowhere near what they should be for this time of year. 55 Chinook, 54 Pittsburgh, 50 in Carthage, and 49 in Monette. Going through today, a very mild, somewhat gusty day. 76, mostly clear. As we head into tonight, an early overnight low of 56. When we start to warm back up and clouds increase, we'll be 59 by 6 a.m. Tomorrow, we are mostly cloudy, 76. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible around the noon hour on Friday before we see more organized activity Friday evening that could bring us not only the heavy rain, but possibly some strong to severe thunderstorms. And we will keep an eye on that for you. Storms clear out very early Saturday. We're 59, 67 on Sunday. And this is what I'm talking about. As we head into the start of next week, Election Day, 77 degrees, near 80. This is the second week of November. And we've got highs pushing 80 degrees. But we do have showers and thunderstorms to get through ahead of us, and we have some more possible next week as well, and then we'll cool back down again. So we got a little bit of a wild weather ride ahead of us.
Up next, our very own Yana Abdullah takes us to Pittsburgh's Holiday Lanes, where we learn about a fun bowling event that Special Olympics Kansas is putting on for its athletes.
And later, how self-care helps manage diabetes. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Special Olympics Kansas hosts the Southeast Kansas Regional Youth Bowling Competition, and our very own Yana Abdullah is live from Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh to tell us more about it.
Good morning. We're live here in Pittsburgh at the Holiday Lanes Bowling Alley. I'm here with Olivia Laughlin from Special Olympics Kansas. Welcome.
Hi.
So could you tell us about this bowling event that the athletes are going to participate today?
Yeah, definitely. So we have our youth regional bowling event. It's 2 days, so we have it today and then we have it tomorrow from about 9 to 1, where schools from all over Southeast Kansas come in and they bowl, and then we do awards and yeah.
Can you talk about the importance of this event for the athletes?
Definitely. There's a lot of different, I feel like, benefits to Special Olympics, not only health, but also the community, the socialization, the inclusion aspect of it. They're just really, really fun events to be at.
How many people are estimately going to participate? Do you have idea about that?
We have about 200 athletes and partners between the 2 days, might be a little bit more, so yeah.
So one of the schools that is participating is the Iola High School, and they won the Unified Champions School, right? And they are going to be recognized today. Can you tell about that a little bit?
Yeah, so Iola High School is our first high school here in Southeast Kansas that got recognized nationally to be a Unified Champion Schools. And Unified Champion Schools basically means that they demonstrate inclusion not just through sports, but also as a whole school community. Today we get to recognize them out of over 8,000 schools. They got top 25 by ESPN. It's a really, really hard award to get, but they knocked it out of the park. So
it's very rare to have it here in Kansas.
Definitely our first school here in Southeast Kansas. So.
And what all are they going to be recognized for? Like what all are you going to do with them?
Yeah, we are doing an opening ceremonies here at 9:20, where we will talk a little bit just about how amazing they are, but also about their banner reveal that they had a couple months ago, and then give them their award from ESPN.
Cool. Can you tell about the competition? Do they compete in teams or pairs or individually?
So we have basically 3 different divisions. We have our ramp bowlers, so they use a ramp, and those are individual, and then we have just our individual bowlers, and then this year we're doing a unified. So that basically means that athletes with and without disabilities compete together, and they switch frame by frame. They're teams of 2, and it's just a newer division to get more of an inclusive environment in.
Cool. And I visited the Iola High School a few weeks back, and they have like this pals that they train with. Are they going to have all these training partners with them today, or is it just individually?
So they get the option between having their training partners and not. Iola will have their training partners with them. I think it's about half and half. We have people that are competing singly, and then we have people that are competing in pairs.
Cool. How about, is there any awards from this competition today or tomorrow?
Yeah, so that's probably one of my favorite parts about the Special Olympics events is giving the athletes their awards. So they get medals, we take pictures, we make it a big deal. So, yeah.
Cool. And how tight is the competition usually?
There's just every level, every ability when you walk in the doors. So that's what makes it so cool, a little bit of everything.
Cool. And are people actually able to attend this today?
Yeah, we have families, community. We really want to make it just a more community event to help celebrate the athletes, because it really is an incredible atmosphere to be at.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys.
And we're live here in Pittsburgh. I'm Yana Hautala with KOAM News.
All right, we will check back in with you in about 30 minutes, Yana. Thank you so much. Again, the event is happening from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. today and tomorrow. Thanks, Yana.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Now, just in case you needed a reminder, well, it's Wednesday.
Yes.
It means we're halfway through the work week, right? It's not bad.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is it's another Wildcat Wednesday. And today we've got Sherry Nelson from the K-State Extension Office here to talk about the upcoming Kansas Youth Leadership Forum, as well as the election of the State 4-H Council. So welcome, Sherry.
Good morning.
Good to have you here this morning. So
good to be here.
We've got just a few minutes of time, so I'm going to just kind of let you dive right in. So what have you got coming up?
Okay, coming up, we've got the Kansas Youth Leadership Forum coming up. I believe it's in its 24th year. And this is a leadership forum where the kids can sign up to go to, we'll spend the weekend at Rock Springs up by Manhattan. And they will hear keynote speakers, get to go some breakout sessions about different leadership styles and leadership things. And while they're there, they'll also get a chance to elect their state 4-H leadership council, who helps put on all these events and things like that. Wildcat District the past couple of years has had 2 members on the state council, and we have one young man running for re-election this year. So we're excited to have several kids going and represent Wildcat District. So.
And how important is it for the kids to be able to go to these events and go to these conferences and these forums and hear from these other keynote speakers?
I think it's very important. Leadership skills are something we all need. Leadership is something that sometimes we're lacking. And so these skills that these kids gain when they go to these conferences and hear from motivational speakers and other leaders across the state. They meet kids from all across the state. They can exchange ideas. They can talk about different things. And I think it's very important that we develop leaders so that they understand that a good leader isn't somebody that always gets their way, but somebody that can motivate other people to be their best and to do things. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. I mean, just in general, good leadership is important, whether, it's something as important as leading the country, leading your state, or leading the business you manage and the team you have. Leadership across the board is essential, and good skills are essential.
Absolutely.
And what's it like for you to be able to have so many students from our district be able to get up there and be part of this and be elected?
Yeah. Well, I think the kids, make the choice to go, and we encourage as many as possible to attend. I think it's important. These kids are just, they come back and they bring those ideas back with them. They also go on to be leaders in their schools. They go on to be leaders in the communities. I mean, a lot of our small communities, especially if you look at people who are serving on the city councils and the county commissions and things like that, they have 4-H backgrounds, and that's because they've attended events like this and participated in leadership opportunities.
Yeah, so some essential skills that'll be learned by these kids that will really benefit them down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us. Of course, we have a lot of additional information at KOAMnewsnow.com, and we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
In Health Watch this morning, around 37 million Americans have diabetes. The CDC says about 1 in 5 people don't even know they have it, and the disease can lead to serious health problems. In honor of National Diabetes Month, Mandy Gaither has more on why health experts say self-care is key.
It's a disease that can strike at any age. Diabetes, which happens when a person's blood sugar is too high, is a serious health threat.
It can affect the eyes and the kidney and the heart, and is actually linked to certain types of cancer.
Managing the disease and preventing further complications isn't easy. That's why the National Institute of Diabetes, Digestive, and Kidney Diseases says it takes teamwork between a patient and their doctors. Dr. Griffin Rogers says to remember the ABCs. A stands for A1C, a blood test that measures average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months.
And for most people with diabetes, we aim to keep that at about 7%.
B is for blood pressure. The CDC says most people with diabetes have high blood pressure. Roger says managing it is critical.
So for most people with diabetes, keeping their blood pressure numbers less than 140/90 is a goal.
C is for cholesterol. Lifestyle changes like diet and exercise can help lower it, so can medicines like statins. Finally, S for not smoking.
Smoking and diabetes narrow the blood vessels and lead to the vascular damage that can cause problems in the kidneys and the eyes and the heart.
Rogers says developing a diabetes care plan and sticking to it can help someone with diabetes live a healthy life. He says early management is key to preventing the progression of the disease.
All right, so we've got a lot of weather to talk about, not a lot of time to talk about it in. So what we're going to do is we've got more weather coming up. So we're going to skip ahead to what you need to know for today. So as we go through today, mild 76, mostly clear. Winds could be gusting about 20-25 miles an hour. We head into tonight. We have an early overnight low of 56. We'll hit that about 2 a.m. Clouds increase and temperatures turn around and start to warm up. We're watching the showers and thunderstorms Friday. They'll be out of here early Saturday, leaving us cooler at 59. We'll be 67 on Sunday. We'll have more on your forecast and more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
State's most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. A lane change causes a serious crash in Webb City. Troopers report the crash took place Tuesday morning at Airport Drive Village, 1 mile north of Joplin. The crash happened when a 2022 Ram truck driven by Trey Covey changed into the center lane and made a left turn into the path of a 2010 Honda motorcycle driven by John Covert. Covert was transported to Freeman Hospital with serious injuries. Authorities have charged a former executive director of the Carthage Convention and Visitors Bureau with stealing from the organization. The Jasper County prosecutor filed charges against Callie Myers following a year-long investigation by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Myers worked at the CVB from November of 2020 through July of 2021. Court documents show investigators found Myers made almost $5,000 worth of unauthorized purchases using the CVB debit card. Authorities say Myers used the card to buy clothing, food, hair salon services, and as payment to her husband and daughter. The project to replace Joplin's South Range Line Bridge is making progress. Crews have begun pouring concrete on the bridge deck. This is part of the project to build a new bridge that will be higher, wider, and shorter than the previous one. The new bridge will feature sidewalks on both sides of the road that previous bridge did not have. Last report, the projected completion date was early December. And the Joplin Public Library opened a new art exhibit inside its post-art section. The exhibit is called The Eyes Have It. It's themed around the human eye and features work from the Joplin Regional Artists Coalition in several different mediums.
Well, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and so we thought about it as a theme for a show, and we thought it was a great idea. You know, as artists, we are constantly visualizing, so we thought that it would be kind of fitting to have artwork that stared back at you.
The exhibit will remain open until January 2nd. For Southwest Missouri students are celebrating perfect ACT test results. Thomas Jefferson Independent Day School seniors Phoenix Wade, Samantha Cito, Nate Curtis, and junior Emily Rowe all received a 36 on the test. That's the highest score you can. One of the high-achieving students told us about her feelings when she found out.
Because I didn't expect it at all, to be honest, because I actually walked out of the test thinking I completely bombed the science section, and so I went home and even my parents will be like, oh yeah, I was an absolute mess after taking the test. So it was totally unexpected finding out the score. Like I found that in the middle of my Chinese class actually.
We're always so excited for the successes of our students, and it is important to remember that the ACT is not an intelligence test by any means, but high scores on it can indicate a high level of readiness for college and represent the outcome of a strong academic program.
Fewer than 0.5% of students who've taken the test this year have achieved that.
Well, this morning, we're talking about voting.
And the ability to vote gives Americans the chance to voice their opinions on the issues and the people they want to represent them. Midterm elections are less than a week away, and the votes tallied will impact every American.
Americans vote to change what's going on in the country or to make sure that they don't sit passively as changes do happen. That brings us to our question to you this morning. Are you planning on voting in the November 8th election?
Oh, the numbers are going up.
They are so far, and just updated live, 88% of you say that you are, 12% of you say that you are not. Make sure you vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote through the app. Take part in discussion on our Facebook page and make sure you vote in the November 8th election. All right, a lot of weather to talk about as I talked about. Wind gusts today pushing 20, 25 miles an hour. Wind gusts tomorrow pushing 30, 35 miles an hour. Wind gusts Friday morning pushing 40 miles an hour. We get a brief break and then the cold front starts to push in. And then wind gusts pushing 40 to 50 miles an hour. And these are wind gusts not associated with any thunderstorm activity we could see on Friday, just simple wind gusts ahead of the system. Rain tracker continues to update, but we're looking at rain totals anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe even 4 inches across the area with the system. We're going to talk about Friday's storms in depth here in a second. 54 in Joplin, mostly clear. Mild start to the day for a lot of us. 51 Neodesha, 55 Chanute, 53 in Pittsburgh, 49 in Neosho. Going through today, very mild. 76 for the high, mostly clear skies with some gusty winds. Our overnight low actually ends up happening pretty early, about 2 a.m., 56. Cloud cover increases, temperatures begin to turn around and warm up. So, this is why I want to show you the future track. By Friday, this is 11:30, you can see the front is out here. We've got showers and thunderstorms scattered around 11:30 noon starting in southeast Kansas. Then it will organize into a better line of showers and thunderstorms as we head into Friday evening, say around 5, 6 o'clock. It's why some football games have been moved to Thursday instead of Friday because of the potential for these storms. These storms, heavy rain, definitely likely, but there's also the possibility some of them could be strong to severe. So we will be keeping an eye on this for you as we get closer to Friday. Now, as you see, though, they exit pretty quickly by Saturday morning, and they leave us with some very early morning showers and then a little bit cooler, 59. So we're 76, mostly cloudy on Thursday, 72 Friday ahead of the storms, very, very windy. Then we're 59 Saturday, 67 on Sunday, and then by the time we reach Election Day, we're pushing near 80 degrees in the second week of November. We just got a wild ride to get through, but then next week we have additional shower and thunderstorm chances that are going to bring temperatures back down again. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Special Olympics Kansas hosts the Southeast Kansas Regional Youth Bowling Competition, and our very own Yana Tula is live from Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh to tell us more about it. Yana?
Good morning and thanks, Tanya. We are here at the bowling alley in Pittsburgh at Holiday Lanes. I'm here with Olivia Laughlin from Special Olympics Kansas. Welcome.
Hi.
So can you tell about this event that the athletes are going to have here today?
Yeah, definitely. So we have 2 days of regional Southeast Youth Bowling from 9 to 1 here at Holiday Lanes. So,
what is the importance of this for the athletes to come here and just have fun together?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many benefits to Special Olympics, not just the health aspect, but also the inclusion aspect and the community, building those relationships with peers and getting to interact with everyone in the community.
And one of the schools is Iola High School. They were recognized as the Unified Champion School. How important is this for them to be getting this award?
So this award they're getting today, a couple months ago they got nationally recognized as a Unified Champion School. And today from ESPN, they give out the top 25 Unified Champion Schools in the nation, and that's out of 8,000 schools. So it's a really big award to get.
So what will you do here today to recognize them?
Yeah, so we have opening ceremonies at 9:20 this morning, and we are going to recognize Iola just as being a Unified Champion School, and they're the first one in Southeast Kansas, so that's really exciting. And then we're also going to present them the actual physical award from ESPN and make a little opening ceremonies out of it.
That sounds cool. Can you tell about today? Are they going to be bowling in teams or individually, or how is it going to happen?
Yeah, so we have basically 3 different divisions. The first one is ramp bowling, so they'll have a ramp to help assist them. The second one, and that's singles. The second one is just singles bowling. And then the third one we have is unified bowling, which means that students with and without disabilities are competing together on teams of 2. They'll be alternating frames and getting to collaborate and work together as a team.
Cool. And how about the awards? How does that happen? What can they get?
Yeah, definitely. So that is probably my favorite part of the event. At the end of the event, we do awards, and we will either have like police officers or someone presenting those awards to them. They get pictures. We make a big deal out of it. And just the smiles and the reactions that they have from getting the awards and getting to take them home are just incredible.
And it's going to be full of people today?
Yeah, definitely. We have a full house today and a full house tomorrow from 9 to 1. And anyone in the community is welcome to come in. Families, we really want to make it a community event because the atmosphere is just really incredible.
Cool. Well, I thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yeah, the event will happen from 9 to 1 today, and anyone is welcome, like she said. I'm live in Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
All right, and this event is definitely fun to watch and a lot of fun for the kids who are participating as well. Thank you so much, Janna, and thank you, Olivia, as well. Be right back.
All right, we got a lot of weather to talk about, not a lot of time to talk about it in, so let's dive right in. First, winds are going to start gusting today. We're looking at wind gusts today of 20 to 25 miles an hour, maybe some of us seeing close to 30. We head into tomorrow. The winds start to pick up more. We're looking at wind gusts now, maybe 30 to 35. We head into Friday early morning, and we're looking at wind gusts pushing upwards of 40 miles an hour. Then our cold front that's bringing us showers and thunderstorms starts to get a little bit closer. Winds briefly calm down a little bit right before they start gusting at 40 to maybe even 50 miles an hour. And again, these are winds that aren't associated with any thunderstorms. These are just winds ahead of the main system itself. And then there's the rain tracker, which is continuously updating, bringing us the latest projections on what it thinks is going to happen in terms of rain. We're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain across the area. 7th and Rangeline Joplin, good sunrise, 54 south wind at 10 miles an hour as we are clear. Mild temperatures to start the day, 51 Neodesha, 54 in Parsons, 50 Carthage, and 49 in Monette. We got a mild day for us today as we warm up to 76, mostly clear skies. And then tonight's a little interesting. We'll hit our overnight low fairly early around 2 a.m. of 56. And then with the south breeze increasing, it warms up a little bit as we head into tomorrow morning, 59 by 6 a.m., and we are mostly cloudy. So let's skip this and go straight into the whole thing. 76 tomorrow, mostly cloudy. 72 Friday. Showers and thunderstorms are going to be scattered, say around 11:30 or noon in southeast Kansas. And then they'll get more organized into a line of storms by Friday afternoon and evening around maybe 5, 6 o'clock, and they'll push on through. That's why a lot of football games have been moved to Thursday because of the storm chances Friday. So in addition to the heavy rain, there's also the possibility of a few strong, possibly severe thunderstorms Friday evening. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that for you. They exit very quickly Saturday early morning. We're a little cooler, 59, 67 on Sunday, and by the time we get to Election Day, we are pushing a high of almost 80 degrees in November. That's not a typo. We're looking at almost 80 by next Tuesday. Well, Consumer Watch this morning, new Twitter owner Elon Musk has proposed charging $8 per month for its Blue service, which includes the coveted blue check mark badge that appears on the verified accounts of celebrities and public figures. Musk says the move is partly to pay the bill and partly to defeat so-called bots and trolls. He also announced overnight that Twitter will not allow anyone who was deplatformed for violating rules back on until there is a, quote, clear process. Back with more right after this, but first let's take a look at the stock prices before the opening bell.
It's time to honor today's fourth state hero, First Sergeant Ralph Edwin French Jr., the native of Fort Scott, Kansas, served in Cuba from 1961 to 1962 and then in Vietnam from 64 to 66 as part of the 891st Unit. This decorated veteran earned a number of awards, including the Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense, and the Meritorious Service Medal. For Sergeant Ralph Edwin French Jr., we thank you, today's fourth state hero.
Well, a police traffic stop didn't stop a suspicious passenger from pulling a Forrest Gump.
Jeannie Moose reports on the dash cam footage that has even police chuckling.
When a Pottsville, Arkansas police officer noticed a stop sign violation, he pulled over the offending vehicle, and that's when Sergeant Jared Huffman's Forrest Gump imitation comes in handy.
I was running and running and running.
Because as the car came to a stop, a passenger in the rear seat popped out, dropped his backpack, and did exactly what Forrest Gump was known for. As a bemused Sergeant Huffman casually shouted out,
"Keep running."
The only thing I'm surprised you didn't say was, "Run, Forrest, run."
It was tempting.
Run, Forrest, run! In the movie, Forrest escapes bullies by sprinting across a football field But this Forrest look-alike didn't really have to sprint because Sergeant Huffman couldn't chase him. The department's policy is for the officer to remain with the multiple occupants of the car, in this case 3 females who said they didn't know the runner, that he had asked them for a ride.
So what turned out to be in the bag?
Nothing illegal.
A package of corn chips, a peanut butter sandwich, a flashlight. The officer let the driver go with just a warning about stop signs. We may never know who the guy is who refused to stop, but unlike Forrest Gump,
I can run like the wind blows.
This guy blows at running.
Was he fast?
No.
Jeannie Mose, CNN.
Keep running.
New York.
Now,
All right, that was pretty amusing, I gotta admit.
It makes me want to watch that movie.
I'm just
Run,
thinking the same
Forrest,
thing.
run!
I need to go watch Forrest Gump tonight. So,
Jeannie Moose, you keep doing that to us. Every time she pulls in a movie and ties it in,
yeah.
it like brings it back, and I want to watch it.
oh, absolutely. And hey, you know, we got some good movie watching weather.
Because life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
And that's the 4-state forecast for you.
Yeah, pretty much, because we've got just some absolutely crazy stuff. So I feel like I need to Forrest Gump run over to the weather wall, but unfortunately, it's not that far from where I'm sitting. Okay, let's dive right in. Wind gusts today, 20, 25, maybe 30 miles an hour across the area. Wind gusts tomorrow, we're pushing 30, 35 miles an hour. Wind gusts Friday morning, we're pushing 40 miles an hour. Then we get a brief break as the cold front edges in closer, and then right as it gets on our back door, boom, we have winds gusting 40 to 50 miles an hour. And these are wind gusts not associated with storms. We're talking just wind gusts in general. The rain tracker, again, continually updating, but we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain with this system as it moves in Friday. Nice sunrise at 7th in range line. We're 54 in Joplin and clear. We're going to get into this system on Friday. We've got 55 Chanute, 53 in Pittsburgh, 50 in Carthage, and 49 in Neosho. A mild day for us today, mostly clear, reaching a high of 76 thanks to that south breeze. And then tonight, we'll, again, thanks to the increasing south breeze, overnight low of 56 early, about 2 a.m. And then we look at warming up. Clouds increase and we start warming up as we head into the morning. So I want to show you is the future track. We're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms ahead of the cold front by Friday morning, say around 11 or noon. And as the cold front gets through, we start to get a much more organized line of showers and thunderstorms, bringing us some heavy rain, and some of these could be strong to severe. And of course, we will keep an eye on that for you. But we are looking at the storms Friday evening. It's why a lot of Friday football games have been moved to Thursday. And we've got a complete list on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Sports Director Jacob Leonard's been keeping up on that. The storms exit very early Saturday morning, but they leave us a bit cooler, 59. 67, partly cloudy on Sunday, 72, partly cloudy on Monday. A few more clouds on Election Day, but look at that. We're having highs in November pushing almost 80 degrees. In fact, you can see that on the whole long range. 78 by next Wednesday, but then we have more shower and thunderstorm chances by the end of next week. Start to bring our temperatures right back down again. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Political heavyweights are barnstorming the country with the midterm elections less than a week away. Former President Barack Obama is in Arizona today to support Democrats in the races for Senate and governor, while former President Donald Trump will be in Iowa later this week. CBS News considers 5 Senate races to be toss-ups, with every last vote expected to make a difference as both parties try to take control of Congress. And CBS News has confirmed part of a Washington Post report that cameras outside the home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi captured the moment that a man broke in before attacking her husband. A Capitol Police officer in Washington, D.C. first noticed the break-in thousands of miles away on a remote surveillance camera only after the attack, when a D.C. Capitol officer saw a San Francisco police cruiser in the driveway. The suspect, David DePop, is charged with attempted murder, burglary, and elder abuse. And the grand prize for tonight's Powerball drawing has grown to $1.2 billion, the second largest Powerball jackpot ever. It's also the largest in more than 6 years. The popular cash option payout is nearly $600 million before taxes. The odds to win the Powerball are about 1 in 292 million.
I'll take my chances at some point on that. We have got a beautiful day, albeit a bit breezy, 76, mostly clear skies today. And as we head into tonight, we'll hit our overnight low early, 56 at 2 a.m. And with a good south gusty breeze, we'll start to turn around, warm up, 59 by 6 a.m. And the clouds also begin to increase. Then we have the shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into Friday with the cold front coming in. We could see some scattered showers in the afternoon in southeast Kansas. And then as we head into the evening, more organized thunderstorms get together, bringing us some heavy rain. A few of those may be strong to severe. We'll keep an eye on them for you. And then by next week, we start to have highs pushing the 80s, near 80 in November.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to believe. Hard to believe. And then I won't get into it now, but a couple of weeks after that, or a week after that, it turns upside down. At least right now in the long range models. Anyway, thanks so much for letting us put the good in your morning. Back for more news and weather at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.